Hello everyone, this is Leo. I'm with GoneWithTheWin.com. Today we're looking at Rebel Galaxy. But before we get into the game itself, wanted to take a moment to talk about something that really hurt us and saddened us when we read it online. Total Biscuit, a fellow YouTuber, recently announced that he is battling health issues. They detected spots on his liver. He is determined to beat the odds and to fight against it, and we applaud and commend him to him and the millions of people that are fighting very real battles. Our prayers and our wishes go out to them. I've never met Total Biscuit myself, but when I started doing this and looking at other YouTubers and how they manage their gameplay or reviews, his stuck out. His are my favorite, and I enjoy them immensely, and I really hope he gets better. Another reason why this hits home to us, we had a good friend, Jeremy, aka Ruthless One. Several years ago, he succumbed to this horrible affliction, and he's missed, and we know that this is a very real struggle, and our hearts go out to everyone in this struggle. But in honor of Total Biscuit, we will be taking a look at Rebel Galaxy from a different point of view. All the enemies that are blowing up today are essentially the spots on his liver that he will be combating. It will be a symbolic gesture, and thank you for joining us. Let's get started. Rebel Galaxy is a privateer type of game. Many of you might not remember Privateer, but it was an amazing open world, probably one of the first spacefaring game where you went to space stations, picked up missions, upgraded your ship, traveled around, getting stronger and stronger, and eventually you undertook a single-player mission that ended the game. But it was a fantastic game. Aside from the Privateer influence, this also is heavily influenced by Firefly, as you can hear from the music. We've had a lot of fun with this game. The galaxy is immense. There's a lot of missions to do, a lot of upgrading to be had, and the combat is exquisite. Right now, in this point of the game, I'm heading over to just a delivery run, trying to deliver some soy paste. But as with all these missions, when the risk is set to high, there's always a lot of combat involved, and I really don't mind. The combat is very fun and enjoyable. Alright, so we have arrived at our first space station, and it is covered in red devil cartel, aka evil liver spots that need to die. The key to surviving, to beating the odds, is to keep maneuvering around, never give your weaker side to the enemy. You have shields, you have hull strength, and you have a deflector that you can pop on to mitigate damage from like the heavier things, torpedoes, missiles, etc. Now that deflector shield is limited in its use. You have to be right there. I just popped one. All these missiles are hitting me. It doesn't last very long, but it's enough to save you from a barrage of torpedoes and missiles. In addition, all the maneuvering allows me to bring in my broadside cannons into view, which are the heavier weaponry, good for bringing down shields and doing more damage as we strafe enemy liver spots from the side and destroy them. Now that's a military frigate, so he's actually on my side. Don't want to piss him off. The numerous attacks, torpedoes, lasers are coming from not just capital ships that are surrounding me in this mission, but also numerous little fighters that assist them. Those little fighters are just aggressive little bastards and are hard to keep off your back until you can invest in some anti-fighter technology like flak cannons or the mercenary to help you by your side. Now, mercenaries can die, but they're very, very useful at keeping the smaller guys off your back. Now, I'm getting ravaged, as you can see on my starboard side. My hull's going down, and there's flames on the side of the ship. There is combat damage, nice blackened scars from intense combat. You'll see on the side there that I am losing critical functions on my turrets and port side. as I'm being pummeled by enemies. If you are able to just escape combat for a little while, you can regenerate your shields and come back in. Jumping into the middle of a battle and just staying there is the recipe for death. So you gotta definitely move in and out, be smart and judicial about your shields, your deflectors, and weapons that you're gonna use. As I've been trying to do while we were speaking, I have been pulling away enemies little by little. There's still a few more left attacking the space station. It's better. I just found it way more maneuverable to kind of swoop in, draw off some enemies, destroy them, swoop back in, do the same thing again, because tackling them on is just impossible. Even with militia there or a space station, they do not always help you. You are on your own. Now, this Corvette, aka Evil Liver Spot, has been completely obliterated, and there is a smile on my face. You can't see it, but there is a huge smile on my face because we're winning. Now, that space station is still under attack, but we've successfully probably destroyed half the fleet that was attacking it. The threat level yellow means there's still some around there. I might just finish my run and head back out. Let's see if I can make it to the space station without being completely creamed by mines and other weaponry. Most of the missions in this game are definitely combat based. I found the combat very enjoyable. It's like Starfleet battles with the positioning, and even though it's on the 2D plane, there's still a lot of maneuvering. There's still a lot of strategy involved with these battles, as I mentioned, cutting off fleets or splitting enemies up, keeping a focus on a certain side of an enemy to blow them up faster. I liked this, just this presentation and just the simple controller commands to get everything going. It's a pick up and play game, but before you know it, 3 or 4 hours have gone by and you're nowhere closer to where you want to be, and you just pick up the next day and another 6 hours go by the time you realize that you're still flying around space blowing things up. I'm going to stop in here in this outpost. One of the things I like is that I can use the environment to my advantage. I can hide while they're firing and they can't get to me over here. As I swerve around for another pass. Alright, I am going to stop in here. Let's do some repairs. At the shipyard, you can see the other ships you can buy. They're all very expensive, but eventually I will be able to afford one. Later on in this video, I will show you the Corvette class, or the heavier class cruiser, for a moment. It does take a little while to get out of the initial ship, because you spend a lot more time upgrading your broadside cannons, your turrets, your missiles, your weaponry and your shields before you can upgrade. One of the things I loved, you don't lose all your weapons when you upgrade ships. That was something that Privateer and some other games do. No, you keep your weapons, just upgrade your hull. But if for example, this ship that we're on right now has 2 turrets and 1 missile launcher. If my next ship has 4 turrets, I still only have the 2 that I purchased, so I would have to buy 2 more. So that's the little caveat there, but it's definitely worth upgrading and saving up. Alright, now just popping out, the station was still under attack, and getting kind of just razzle-dazzled by all these. Alright, I have decided, since these Red Devil spots just do not leave the space station, I'm going to defend it. It also appears that the militia moved off, so we are just one against this invading pirate force, but we can handle it, right? One of the defenses that you have available is a deflector shield triggered by the left bumper. It protects you from damage for a few seconds, all damage, and it runs out and needs to be recharged. You have to use that with some tactical decision. My starboard side has been melted, and as you can see, the battle scars on my ship, and my components are being destroyed. So I have to flip over, give them the other side. There is a menu in the start menu that you can take a look at. It will break down all your systems and how badly damaged they are. It will affect your battle efficiency, although you might not not readily see it since you're still firing and shooting, but you can measure that you're not quite doing as much damage to their shields, or you're maybe taking a few seconds longer to fire. But we're not giving up, even though my starboard side of the ship is starting to look like Khan just laser beamed it. We're still hanging in there. We're not giving up. Not sure I can take out this cutthroat ship without redocking. So let me go ahead and take care of that. About 2K, so I lost some money there in that exchange. But I have a little bit of cargo I can sell. As you can see, there's not much money in some of the cargo options, but most of the big ships drop cargo. Pirates or traders, no matter what, you can pick them up and sell them for some extra cash. It's much more lucrative than actually buying at one station and selling at the other. Alright, now this cutthroat is attacking another innocent trading vessel. It's time for us to get involved again. Like I said, these battles are real time. You dock, you come back, they're still there. Sometimes though, the system or the game itself gets a little crafty. When you have certain missions, you will be ambushed. It will be more and more creative as the game goes on. You'll be ambushed and they'll disable your warp drives. So you can't zip out. You'll jump in, and you'll be surrounded by fighters, or you'll be surrounded by leech turrets that slow you down. The ambush layouts and scenarios for the missions are intelligently done. Otherwise, you can, if you have the ability to, if you land outside the zone of engagement, you can plan your battles a little better. You can try to zone out the fighters. You can try to blow up maybe an outside frigate and then zip out with your boosters and zip back in, so you're not taking on so many ships at once. That's the key. Since everything is based on direction and positioning, one side of your ship can be completely overwhelmed, causing your inevitable destruction from all the damage that you take. Or you can continually spin around, spreading your damage around, waiting for your shields to recharge and last a lot longer in combat. It's one of the things that I love about this game, is that each battle is pretty strategic, as well as the fantastic Firefly inspired soundtrack keeps you going and pumping. You can even put in your own music if you want, but I just never did. I love this soundtrack, and kept me going. And there's just so much to also explore and do. Here we are in like I said, the first sector. I spent about 10 hours just running around doing side missions, building up my ship, getting new weapons. There's different kinds of weapons, and they work together. If you read the descriptions, it's not that hard, it's not that difficult. But you have flat cannons, for example, to take out fighters so they can't get too close to you. You have proton cannons that disable shields. You have plasma turrets that pelt armor a little better than shields. You can also get missiles that just do considerable damage, and lasers that cut through hull, damaging vital systems quicker. Since your ship has multiple turrets, like the one on top of my ship, that's controlled by the AI, and I can set it to attack capital ships or fighters only, or whoever I've targeted. In this case, I have it set to target who I'm locked onto, so maximum damage on whoever I'm actually focused on. These weapons all work together. So if you have proton cannons, for example, that disable the shields quicker, then the lasers, when they activate, will cut into the vitals, damaging the ship quicker. Missiles and flat cannons, or whatever you have as your extra components, can be fired off for various reasons. As you can see, the frigate, or this liver spot, has activated his deflector, so the AI operates just like you do. They have broadside cannons, they have boosts, they have everything that you do, and they will use it also to get away from you when they're in trouble. They will use it to block your missiles. In this case, he did not stand a chance, but my port side is on fire, so time to change positions. This one's gonna be a little harder. The frigates are a little harder than some of the faster vessels, and I have not outfitted my vessel with heat seeker missiles, which do considerable damage if they land. so I'm going to have to maneuver around here a little bit. Gorgeous game, like I said already. Love the battle damage, love just the chaotic sense that you're in the middle of an incredible space battle. It doesn't get old, at least not for me, and I'm 15, 20 hours into this game, and I'm not even close to beating it. I'm just still enjoying all the missions and align myself with some of the factions, trying to get some of the top ships, see how they perform. And down he goes. We have salvaged some heat-seeking missiles, so I would probably install them, or if not, buy a better version. That, what I just did right there, is called a pulse. The pulse allows you to see what's out there. It's wide range. It'll target everything. One of the strange things about the pulse, things fade out over time. You don't know if there's precious cargo or some kind of weapon drop or a vital dropped item like a mission drop or a dead drop that you're supposed to pick up and go unless you pulse. But after a few minutes, it'll disappear, so you have to keep hitting pulse. It'll also tell you that there is a bounty out there. You just don't know where. Sometimes when you hit a pulse and you see a lot of red squares, you don't know which one's the one that's considered vital to the mission, which they call bounties when you're in a mission area, or if it's a bounty because there's a bounty on them. So it gets a little confusing sometimes with the pulse. Kind of wished it was a little bit different. So it doesn't take away from the fun that I was having with the game. Just a little, I guess, minor gripe with it. Here's must be the last ship that we need to take out to complete the mission. He was hiding behind the asteroids, not helping his friends as they got blown up. At times, though, if you zone them out, they will not chase into the battle, which is advantageous for you. My power core is getting damaged. Power core goes critical, you are toast. But I have no shielding on that side, and I'm not going to turn around. Alright, we won. That was a mission. We got the credits. Almost 10,000 credits. So that mission is over. Ordnance crates are dropped, as well as cargo. Ordnance, just as it says, reloads your ordnance. That's nice to have if you're a missile boat or a torpedo ship. It will restock your torpedoes in battle. If not, you got to pay for it. You do have a limited supply of those type of weapons, so it's not good to just have, oodles and oodles of missiles or leech turrets, because they will run out. Now, I set a mission marker for a space station since we're damaged. I don't like to, especially when we're going to missions that are very high risk or high risk. The AI will pummel my side usually that has been weakened and do not want to restart, do not want to take a chance. Alright, we'll just take a look at the star map. See where we can head off to. Star maps, there's, like I said, stations are affiliated. There's also stations that are under attack or stations that can offer special missions. Those are denoted with little yellow exclamation marks. The pirate factions are red outposts. They will not let you land at first unless you have good standing with them. Some of the later sectors will have you picking a side between one pirate faction and the other, and if you help one, you might improve your standing with them and see what that tree of technology has to offer. It will not change, I guess, the gameplay dramatically, but it will give you a few more combat options or different size ships. Some of the merchant guild ships are very expensive but very, very powerful, so they're not available at your standard ports. Might be worth improving your standing with them, doing some missions with them, and improving your level with them to get those. Here are I'm taking a quick brief look through the commodities, but there's your shipyard. I just passed by. You'll be able to take a look through different ships. Hammerhead's where you start. Mastodon, as you can see on the right, it highlights in green and red what it does better. The next ship up has one more broadside cannon, one more turret spot, as well as you can upgrade your weapons and your defenses. The nice thing is, when you sell your ship, you will keep your weapons and defenses, but if you have other slots, those will be empty until you buy more weapons. So as you progress in ships, The nice thing is, unlike I guess Privateer or some of the other ones where you just start with nothing again, you have to kind of buffer your purchase. You don't have to do that in this game. It's nice that your weapons kind of transfer over. You just move up to the more advanced hull. Switched over to the heat-seeking missiles, and you have to buy the missiles like I mentioned. It's not that much, but it starts to cut into your profits when you have to do repairs and missiles, so always balance everything out. You can see the different options that you have in upgrading your deflectors and your shields, your engines, your boost ratios. There's a lot of different pieces of equipment to upgrade and improve your ship overall. This game is filled with upgrading possibilities, which I like. So like I said, you can spend hours and hours and hours just doing the side missions. Now, it might get a little repetitive. It might feel like you're just going out and blowing up things up and then heading back. If it wasn't because I enjoyed the combat so much, I would probably consider this more of a negative aspect. But what keeps driving you is, in order to, I guess, complete some of the more riskier missions and the story mode, you do need to have a better ship. And once you do have a better ship, you start feeling a little more like a badass juggernaut, and it's worth the effort. And it just always seems, no matter how badass you feel, sooner or later you'll go into a mission or a sector where you're just outnumbered and you still feel like you totally suck. But we're not giving up. Never give up, never surrender. That's a whole different movie. Throughout your warps, you will see distress calls, you will see unidentified signals, you will see just battles raging on. If you stop to engage in any way, shape, or form, you will be rewarded with some credits. How much, you don't know. But suffice it to say that some of the ones that I have stopped to help out have been worth my while. You usually always improve your standing with one faction or the other. In this mission, we're going after something called a reliquary, which is part of the main story mission. Your aunt Juno leaves you with a device called a Spectre, which you find out is an advanced artificial intelligence. And this is Trell, the artificial intelligence that I've already unlocked and installed. She can help you improve your ship in ways that the space stations and upgrading cannot. But you're helping her as well. You're finding these reliquary pieces, which are part of, I guess, her long-lost memory. And once you each time you receive a piece, she will improve your ship somehow, as I mentioned, and give you more deflector or more speed, depending on what she has to offer. Usually these missions are pretty rough. I am not sure if I have enough defense and firepower to take it. Let's hope so. These Black Hands are a different faction. Not familiar with them, but they're also escorted by Red Devils. I gotta move. Even though I took down his shields and his hull on that side, I gotta change positions. I'm just getting pelted just far too much. Incoming torpedoes, gotta turn on the shields to stop them, or else they'll do massive damage. That's the worst. The torpedoes and missiles will eat you up far quicker than the beam weapons usually. Another nice thing is, if you go into the bars, you can hire mercenaries. You can set your mercenary to target fighters or target large vessels, different settings, so that's like an extra hand. You only have one at a time, but they are very, very useful. And once you can afford them, I would suggest you go buy one. The more money you spend on your mercenary helper, the better he will be. You can always ask what ship they have and what their armament is. But suffice it to say, if you're going to pay 2,000 credits for a mercenary, he's not going to be very useful versus a 50,000 credit mercenary. The Black Hand Sims that I have, the vessel that I have highlighted is the main one. I believe he's holding the reliquary piece. He's trying to ambush us. So I don't want to let him go. Trying to stay with him while I'm getting just pelted by his escorts. Most of the fighters are gone, as you can see in the mini-map. There's one fighter in the small red dot, two bigger vessels behind me, and him, who I'm just absolutely chasing. He's taking another time cutter. He's trying to boogie out, and I'm not going to let him. I think we got him. I think he's gone. He's gone. Got the bounty, and I checked the cargo container. If you're using a controller, which I highly recommend, everything is so nice and streamlined. You know, everything is listed bright and colorful. Look, press Y for command, press B to slow down, press A for full speed, or A for tractor. The couple of early tutorial missions explain everything, with holding down left trigger to aim your broadside cannons, to hitting the right bumper or left bumper for targeting and lock or deflector shield. It's all nice and simple and easy to understand. And pretty much the focus is on the strategy of each combat, of keeping your ship positioned correctly and keeping the enemy at bay, managing your heavy ordnances so they don't run out when you still have, you know, high value targets to take out. Alright, I think we got everything. I'm waiting for a container that has the reliquary, but I think I have to destroy everything in order for it to show up. Yes, I think everything is gone. I don't see anything on the horizon. Nothing's shooting at me anymore. Let's head back and see if we can find our missing piece. Oh wait, there's one more guy. He looks like he was heading out there to meet his friends, and his friends are dead. Sorry, man, you took too long. Now you're all here all by yourself. Can't handle this, man. Get out of here, liver spot. You can't handle this. That's right, damn. Get out of here. See you later. Alright, let's get back. Let's get this reliquary piece and on with the main story mission. Now I'm going to interrupt this mission as it has to do with the main story. I will just let you know that it continues on from here after you've rescued this piece. Your AI will be grateful and give you a boost, and you will continue on. I'm going to fast forward though about 10 hours of gameplay to where I have now purchased a heavier cruiser that has 6 turret versus my 3. It has 5 broadside cannons instead of 3. I can now hold up to 24 missile launchers, 24 missiles, sorry, on my ship, or hold capacity. Our mission here is to rescue one of the captains, which we will say is a vital piece of technology that will aid Total Biscuit in his fight against his health conditions. Even though this ship that we're fighting is massive, we are going to defy the odds. Why? Because we are human, and we can do things that computers just can't do. So even though we're totally outclassed, totally outnumbered, totally outgunned, and situations seem bleak, our mad skills can defeat spots. I also have hired a mercenary who I have set to target ships, so these little fighters, which are such a pain in the ass, are not destroying me because he's busy going out while I can concentrate on the bigger targets. But as you can see, they will all group up and just start pummeling you one side, weakening your shield. So these nuisances got to be taken care of. You can also purchase certain weaponry that are specifically designed for fighters. I have found that the mercenary hire way more useful or effective at chasing out of the way. Just checking the map to see if there's somewhere else I need to jump to after here. But I love the 2-minute feature where you can go up to this, black menu and right back into your combat. This is the third sector away from the starting sector. This is the Hades sector. You can see the weaponry on these Red Devil cartel ships. They're using lasers, they're using broadside proton cannons just like you are, so it gets a little challenging. The AI can get very powerful and just slice through you in seconds. You cannot get overconfident. I took a mission for about 300,000 credits, thinking that my ship was fast and zippy, and I was going to just run in, take the dead drop and go, make 300,000 credits, and it was not that easy. There was an ambush spot, they disabled my warp drive, and I was dead in about half a second. Those lasers are so useful once the shields go down, cutting them up, and I have my broadside cannon set for disabling shields so that I can just move in closer for the final kill. We rescued the captain, we have succeeded in our mission, and that is all that we have for you today. We hope you enjoyed our review walkthrough of Rebel Galaxy. If you are a fan of Privateer, Starfleet Battles, Wrath of Khan, Trade Wars even, I highly recommend Rebel Galaxy. It is an enormous game. You will spend hours and hours and hours exploring, upgrading, battling, blowing things up. It is extremely fun, and I cannot recommend it enough. Probably one of the better games I've played all year long. As for Total Biscuit and the millions of people that are battling real life battles, much bigger than anything in a video game, our prayers and our best wishes go out to all of them. Thank you once again for watching. My name is Leo, and this is GoneWithTheWin.com. For a more detailed review, please visit our site. Thanks.